Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome to my first impressions and analysis of Phoenicia. I have no idea how to say this. I have never been able to say this civilization's name. Even as far back as Age of Empires 1, I was never able to say the civilization's name. Even after hearing them say the civilization's name, I'm not going to know how to say it. So let's just get into the analysis and have a look at them.
Dido leads Phoenicia in Civilization 6, Gathering Storm. After fleeing her home city of Tyre, this refugee-turned-ruler founded and led Carthage to greatness. Phoenicia's unique ability is Mediterranean colonies. Embarked settlers receive additional movement and sight, and all coastal cities founded on the same continent as Phoenicia's capital will always be completely loyal.
That's an interesting ability. Being able to, I don't think this is going to apply to, it's going to be kind of map specific, because on like a Pangea map it's not going to matter so much. It's also not going to matter so much on a continents map. It's going to matter a bit more on stuff like a island plates map, maybe a fractal map, and a few other map types. Really not a super amazing bonus. The kind of more consistent and interesting one there is always having loyalty. It means that you might be able to settle places on coast where you might not have been able to previously because of loyalty issues. So that certainly is maybe going to make it easier to settle 1 to 2 cities per game. But I really don't see this being like a really game-breaking bonus. Certainly it's okay. A little underwhelming already.
Their unique district is the Cothon. It replaces the harbor and grants production towards naval units and settlers in the city in which it is built. Also, all naval units within the city's borders will heal completely in a single turn.
So that's really interesting. This is interesting for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's interesting for modders because previously there was a bug. I don't know if it's been fixed, but it should be fixed in Gathering Storm, where you would have difficulty having 2 civilizations with the same unique district in the same game. And so now that the civilization developers have done this, it should in theory be easier to do this for modders. It might not seem like a big deal, but it's going to make it easier for modders to make more interesting civilizations, which is kind of a stealth buff to modding, which is kind of weird. You'll hear, maybe modders will comment on this, or you'll hear them say it, but basically, I'm pretty sure there was a bug in Civilization when you're modding. For example, if you wanted to make a unique harbor previously, if England was in the game at the same time as your unique harbor, like one of the districts just wouldn't work and it would be bugged. But now, if they have their own second type of a district being in the game, this should, at the very least, offer a template for modders to follow in order to be able to have a second unique district of the same type as another district, which is really, really great.
The Byron.
The other thing, we'll talk about the other bonuses here in a moment.
Is Phoenicia's unique unit. This ancient naval melee unit is faster and much stronger than the galley. It also provides protection to embarked trader units nearby. Dido's leader ability is fast.
So let's stop here and talk about these abilities from start to finish. So, founder of Carthage, move the capital city with a Cothon, or I guess I should watch it through.
Founder of Carthage. She can move her original capital to any city she controls, which has a Cothon, by completing a unique city project. Also, the government plaza increases trade route capacity and provides additional production towards building districts in that city.
Okay, that's kind of an interesting bonus. Being able to move your capital has some interesting consequences. It'll interact interestingly with her loyalty bonus, because what it means is you could settle a city on another continent on a naval map where there's some loyalty contesting going on. Maybe use one of the unique governors to purchase, or not unique governors, sorry, use one of the governor's abilities or something to purchase a district there, like Reina. Purchase the Cothon, and then immediately, move your capital over there, and then settle the rest of your cities with no loyalty penalties. That's really, really interesting. It's a bit of an edge kind of case where how useful is that really going to be in a lot of your games? It's probably not going to be super useful. Certainly interesting, though.
Spread Phoenicia's empire quickly along the coast and use Dido's ability to move your capital to a more optimal location to shift your loyalty pressure throughout the game. Phoenicia is a flexible civilization, able to adapt to the ever-changing state of the world. They can be a major contender in any victory type. Are you ready to embark on a course to victory? How will you lead Phoenicia in Sid Meier's Civilization VI Gathering Storm? Completing a units nearby. Leader ability.
Okay, so my very first impression is that this is easily the weakest civilization in the expansion. Generalist civilizations, that is civilizations that don't have specific bonuses towards a specific victory type, are generally speaking going to be the weakest of any civilizations that they come out with. I'm trying to think of a good example, like the Cree, whatever that Native American civilization's name is. God damn it. Is it the Cree? I think it's the Cree with the unique scout. Like, they have no particular bonuses towards a certain victory type, and so they end up being really weak. I'm getting similar feelings about Phoenicia. God, Phoenician Empire. Phoenicia. I don't know how to say it. Listen, I'm getting a very similar vibe from these guys. They seem very weak. Their bonuses are interesting and cool, but not very good. So let's kind of go down through each bonus. I do spot one sort of really unique thing that they can do. Since the Cothon gives you 50% production towards settlers, you might be able to do some sort of Uber settler rush where you get a fast government plaza. You use that to get the government building that gives you 50% production towards settlers. Then you build a Cothon, and then you have that's 100% production towards settlers. Then you slap in that policy card, which gives you 150% production towards settlers, which means you're building settlers 2.5 times faster than anyone else in the game. You're basically, every production you put into a settler is becoming 2.5 production, which is really powerful. The problem is that that's a lot of setup for settling, and it's kind of building for that setup would kind of delay your economy a bit. I think that is a potentially really interesting and powerful strategy that you could play with Dido. I don't know if it's really going to be more than a kind of silly little thing that you can attempt blindly, and then sometimes it'll pay off. That's like the one unique thing that I can see they can really do, on top of the being able to move the capital and play around with loyalty in opposite continents. Being the founder of Carthage, right, they can move their capital to a city with a Cothon by completing a unique project in the city. +1 trade route capacity for each government plaza building in the government plaza district. Getting a total of +4 trade routes throughout the game is pretty decent, I would say. It's the equivalent of having 4 extra market commercial hubs with a market built in them, just from building something you're going to build anyway. So that's quite a useful bonus. You could probably kind of compare this to Mansa Musa's +1 trade route capacity per Golden Age. It's going to be a little bit more consistent than Mansa Musa's ability, because you are you're guaranteed these trade routes, whereas Mansa Musa requires a Golden Age, but it has lower potential because Mansa Musa could potentially get more trade routes. But I think it's comparable to that, and I would say because of its consistency, it's actually slightly better. Because you can get two extra trade routes in like late classical, early medieval, with this civilization really consistently, which Mansa Musa might only have +1 by then, or probably not even. And it also kind of depends on the difficulty that you're playing on and all that sort of stuff on the RNG. But that's actually a pretty reasonable boost. I don't think the moving the capital thing is going to be really impactful. The +50% production towards districts in the city with the government plaza, that is quite powerful. It's not the most amazing bonus, but it's decent. I would say that is a decent bonus. Mediterranean colonies begin the game with writing technology. Eureka. Oh. Free science. Okay, so that means you could rush. Okay, that's actually an interesting one, because that means it's much easier for you to rush out of campus. Okay, that's actually a really interesting bonus. It seems like a really small thing, but if you get an isolated start, it means you have the potential to rush out of campus faster than you could otherwise. So that's actually quite good. Could be one of their defining features. It kind of makes me think that they have a pretty decent early science game. Coastal cities founded by them have 100% loyalty on the same continent as the capital. Settlers gain +2 movement and +2 sight while embarked. They ignore initial movement costs when embarking and disembarking. That's actually quite good. Being able to disembark and then immediately get to the tile you want to, it'll shave a turn or two off settling your city, and every turn or two you shave off settling a city is quite useful. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a crap bonus. The real bonus there is actually getting the writing technology Eureka, which you can often get in if your game is set up a certain way pretty reliably, but sometimes you do get an isolated start, and if you want to rush straight for a campus, this could be a really powerful thing. You get the Byrene. That's the Phoenician unique ancient era unit that replaces the galley. Increased combat strength and movement. I think it had +2 movement over the galley and like +5 combat strength. See if I can find it here. It's here somewhere. So there it is. It has 5 higher base combat strength compared to the galley and +3 movement. Oh, that's pretty reasonably powerful. This actually has a pretty big impact because sometimes it can be difficult to fight barbarian quadriremes in the early game, and Dido's biremes will be able to do that a little bit easier. I think the whole trader units being immune to being plundered is kind of Again, not really amazing, kind of It seems like a bit of a, we'll just add a bonus to them. Not really enamored by that particular bonus. Probably the strongest bonus that they have is the Cothon, purely because it's a unique district, which means it costs 50% less production to build, and it also gives you a 50% production boost towards naval units and settlers, which is also really, really powerful. And also all of your naval units heal 100% of their health each turn in the city with a Cothon. Quite a powerful district. A lot of the civilization's power is locked into the naval district, which is not a good sign for a civilization typically, because naval districts just aren't really that useful. Now, I do believe I did see that naval units are getting some interesting city-state interaction, or the what is the word? The harbor district is getting some buffs in general for city-state interactions. I think somebody said there's like some city-states are going to have more to do with Cothons. I can't remember, honestly. So I think the naval district is a little bit better in the expansion, but it's probably not going to be amazing because it's not amazing right now. Let's see. Cheaper to build, most people can Yeah, I think that's really it. It's honestly probably the worst civ in the expansion. Really kind of interesting bonuses, but bonuses that aren't particularly powerful. Gotta say, I'm really, really underwhelmed by this civilization. They have interesting bonuses, and their bonuses are designed in a really cool way, but I'm not seeing any sort of real impact. There's nothing that they... And keep in mind, when I'm doing this analysis, I'm really thinking about deity. I'm sure you'll be able to get a lot of value out of these games in lower difficulty games, but in deity, there are certain sort of benchmarks you have to hit in terms of getting use out of your abilities. Certain strategies just don't work as well because of how early the AI can go to war with you. Trying to go for a fast a super wide expansion strategy, building a Cothon and getting the government plaza up and all that, it takes a very long time, and by the time you do that, all the land is going to be settled unless you make a particular map with lots of extra room, so on and so forth. So I'm not sold on them being particularly powerful. I think they have a lot of potential to be fun and interesting for lower difficulty games, but I really don't see much in the way of actual like high impact bonuses here. The Byreme is like the Cothon is like good, the Mediterranean colonies founder of Carthage so here's their most impactful bonuses: extra trade routes, production towards districts in the city with the government plaza, getting the writing technology Eureka, settlers being able to disembark without movement costs and getting extra movement on water, the Byreme being slightly stronger, being able to fight quadriremes better, and the Cothon being just a cheaper thing that'll get a cheaper thing. All those other things that weren't mentioned, really not super great. Oh, and obviously the plus 50% production towards naval units and settlers in the Cothon. Very much so. I would say now, keep in mind, when I'm saying they're a weak civ, I mean like in general. On a naval map, they're actually going to be decent. Like they'll be pretty good on a naval map, but did not. I don't know. It's just not real. I'm not feeling the power. I'm not feeling the interest. Kind of like, honestly, as well. Like, I mean, some of their abilities are interesting, but I think for me as a player, they're a little boring too. Like, I don't see these abilities being particularly powerful, and I don't see them being super interesting to play around either, to try to like get value from them. It just seems, I don't know, I'll have to play them, but I very much feel like Phoenicia is the Georgia of Gathering Storm, because Georgia is pretty crap, all things considered. Georgia is probably the worst civ in the game. And now Dido is competing for that slot, which sucks because I was really excited about what the next civilization could potentially be. So, you know, I'm a little sad about that Phoenicia is kind of boring and not very good. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we will see the true power of Phoenicia when they do the gameplay preview and stuff like that on the live stream. I don't know. I think they have the potential to be an interesting civ to play, but I don't think they have the potential to be a very powerful civilization. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing, and like there's nothing here that's actively hindering your gameplay. You got to remember, when I'm saying they're bad, I mean, like, they're still a good, like, you can still win games with them, no problem, on deity or whatever difficulty. It's just that, you know, other civs have a little bit more efficiency and are going to be have a little bit more high impact bonuses. So that's kind of my feeling of Phoenicia. An interestingly designed civ, but not a very strong civ, is kind of my current analysis. Certainly they will be fun to play, but I do not think they will be powerful. That's pretty much it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Remember to leave a like if you want to directly support my channel, and remember to leave a comment if you want to give me your feedback. Other than that, I want to say I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!